You are now live.
What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's popping? What's good? These are questions I have for all of you. Questions that you can't even answer because none of you are on yet. But cool, I'm just going to wait a little bit until people start joining, and then we'll get it started. Also, I'm here with Kyle Grimes. This is usually...
What's up?
This is the time that we go to the gym together, and right around that time, I usually decide to go live and really annoy the shit out of Kyle by,
Not going to the gym.
by not talking to him and instead
Turning my music down.
spending this time talking to you guys. So appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate how much I love you all.
More than does not value my free speech.
Yeah, I don't value... Oh! What an interesting subject you just brought up, Kyle.
Yo, did I just segue that?
Yeah, great segue into what we want to talk about today, which is a subject I am most familiar with, which is free speech. Now, there is, if you've spent any moments on the internet, you have probably seen, usually conservatives, talking about how all of these social media platforms are run by liberals, run by libtards, who silence them because they freer their free speech. It's a very interesting concept. Usually there is a little bit of an algorithm boost for sure. Some people absolutely don't benefit, especially if it's like controversial content and whatnot. And a lot of what we do, both on the left and on the right, revolves around controversial commentary. Now, but on top of that, there's an additional layer to this, right? And this is something that we hear about all the time, about like how certain speakers, and I'm of course referring to Ben Shapiro, will get brought up on college campuses. Like the student organizations that want to troll the campus will usually have someone like Milo, who's not only controversial but like a piece of shit on top of that. They'll invite them to college campuses, and of course, like, if their entire shtick is being controversial and then also endangering the lives of certain students, like Milo has done in the past, not Ben Shapiro, but Milo has done this. Usually students, of course, are not responsive in a positive way, and sometimes these speeches are forced to be canceled. These are all paid speeches, mind you. It's not like these are free speeches. They're not going out there out of the goodness of their heart. They're going out there because they want to make like 15 racks real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Racks.
Anyway, but let me tell you, all these conservative motherfuckers, they're paid real well. Okay? They all have very rich financiers, which is probably the reason why they always accuse the left of having rich financiers. Like George Soros is one I hear all the time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you real quick. I've been waiting for that motherfucker George Soros to send me a goddamn check for the past 5-6 years now. I haven't seen a single goddamn check from you, George. What the fuck is this bullshit? Everyone keeps saying George Soros is funding me, and that's why I say the things I say, not because I believe them, and yet I haven't gotten a goddamn check from George Soros. I'm out here wearing thrifted clothes and TYT branded bullshit. Can't even put clothes on my goddamn back. Where is my George Soros check?
Speak, boy.
Yeah. Are we diamond and silk now? Like, is that what we are? I'm just gonna say stuff, and then as silk, you just gotta go,
amen.
No, you gotta go, Every time I say something, you gotta go, Speaking of diamond and silk, actually, very important subject. Diamond and silk.
Yo, segue's on point.
I know, you're fucking killing it today. You're killing it. So Diamond and Silk are the two lovely ladies on Twitter that got famous for being like super on board with Donald Trump. And then they got money from Paul Nehlen, who was trying to primary out Paul Ryan.
Who's Nehlen?
Paul Nehlen is a Nazi, like a literal neo-Nazi. For the longest time, he was following 1488 people, like which is sign for Heil Hitler and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, Paul Nehlen's a Nazi. Okay, we're just. He's been promoted by Breitbart and a bunch of other people until it was like very, very obvious that he was a neo-Nazi, at which point everyone was like, we actually never liked Nehlen. It's whatever. So
who's Nehlen Palin?
So yeah, So Diamond and Silk got money promoting a fucking neo-Nazi. It's not a big deal. All of this came out in a congressional hearing where Diamond and Silk also testified in front of Congress that they were being censored by Facebook. Now, Facebook, I'm not entirely sure how they got censored.
Was that prior to the Facebook?
This was after the whole Russia stuff, and like this was after the Cambridge Analytica scandal.
So I heard them bringing up during Zuckerberg's thing.
And yeah, and like that's the really interesting thing about censorship is that all of these conservatives who constantly claim that they're being censored get to do that on platforms like the New York Times or TV networks like CNN or obviously Fox News, which is an incredibly successful television network that is conservative. So what's really interesting to me is that these guys that claim to make a constitutional argument, they turn their college campus tours into like these big constitutional debates that revolve around freedom of speech, get to speak very freely. And let me tell you, I come from a country where freedom of speech does not exist. So I know what it's like when freedom of speech does not exist. Turkey jails a lot of journalists, okay? I am stuck in traffic. So that's part of the reason why I've always been a huge advocate for freedom of speech in America. It's like one of the few things that America has gotten right. But it is rather interesting that usually left-leaning pundits or left-leaning writers, left-leaning journalists, and I'm referring to not Democrats, I'm referring to people that would be more on board with certain socialist values, people that are members of the DSA, Democratic Socialists, people that are even further to the left than that. We constantly get silenced. We don't really talk about it as much as the conservatives do, and even if we were to talk about it, it doesn't really fucking matter because we don't have fucking platforms. We can't go to Fox News. We don't go on MSNBC. Name the last time you saw someone on MSNBC that was further to the left than Chris Hayes, who actually is fairly decent. I really do like him. I like his commentary. But he is the furthest left that MSNBC will go. And even then, he talks a good deal about the whole Russia scandals, and he talks a good whole... He usually will dedicate an entire hour to Stormy Daniels every now and then. So, yeah. Well, yeah, thank you back. Thank you for coming back. So, look, we these outlets are the only outlets we have, right? Like, that's why Instagram is important. That's why Facebook is important. That's why YouTube is important. And also, I urge you all to go check out my YouTube channel as well. Just type Hassan Piker in the search bar on YouTube. But yeah, so it's just like, whenever you hear freedom of speech from conservatives, know that they are absolutely hypocritical. And there are a million different examples of this. For like one of the biggest thinkers, Jordan Peterson, who kind of came on the scene earlier last year when he blew the fuck up, and he wrote a book he basically wrote like a self-help book. Anyway, who claims that he is neither a conservative nor a liberal. He's just objective, but then spends 95% of his commentary on how radical Marxism is running amok in college campuses. Anyway, so Jordan Peterson constantly tries to deplatform people. He has plenty of times he's talked about how if you ever hear anyone talking about equity, immediately tell your children not to take that course anymore. Like he's had tweets like this where he's like, Equity, yeah. He thinks equity is a dangerous subject. Equity is one of the biggest problems that our postmodern society faces, and if you hear about equity, that's a bad thing. Anyway, so that's like Jordan Peterson's whole shtick. And the other thing that he does is like, college campuses are safe havens for radical Marxism to run amok. Everything I hate in society is not because of capitalism, which is good, but because of neo-Marxist postmodernism, which are two entirely separate ideas that don't even correspond to one another, but it doesn't really matter because none of you guys actually did the work, and you're taking everything I'm saying for what? If you like my Instagram live, make sure you donate. The fuck is this, you son of a bitch? You're done. You're out. You're out, bitch.
We got infiltrators.
This son of a bitch using my fucking likeness to try to get donations to Donald Trump. Fuck you.
Oh, shit, boy.
Anyway, my Jordan Peterson voice sounds like Kermit because
he's talking some Sesame Street ass shit.
Hey, sesame ass bitch.
Yo, this is some Sesame Street ass philosophy.
Anyway, so, you know, Jordan Peterson's a Sesame boy. Speaking of that, he dedicates a whole lot of time to addressing and deconstructing how Disney movies are trying to make you gay, which is another really fun subject that he broaches all the time. Anyway, he's a traditional Christian dude who constantly talks about how, like, he's regarded as a freedom of speech champion, and so is Ben Shapiro, and yet they routinely engage in deplatforming. Actually, Ben Shapiro is a little bit more consistent than all the other people that I cover. Ben Shapiro does every now and then performatively support left-leaning people, not like communists or Marxists or anything, but he will every now and then lend his voice to like maybe a college professor who said like I'm glad Barbara Bush is dead. You guys remember that? Usually whenever something like that happens, it's a really interesting experiment to follow all the conservatives who are like, we are champions of freedom of speech, that quickly pile on and try to get this college professor fired because she said something that they don't like, that they find unconscionable. Anyway, the overall point I was trying to make is that, my God, I'm out here, you're so fucking annoying. The overall point I'm trying to make is that conservatives routinely try to lie and claim that they are being targeted with freedom of speech offenses, and they've been able to position themselves for some weird fucking reason as champions of freedom of speech. It's a thing that really upsets me. Another problem, I mean, it's similar to like patriotism and how conservatives have been able to portray themselves as like the champions of patriotism. Like nationalism, like white nationalism is not patriotism. Racism is not patriotism. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Here, I'll take a dab for you. Yeah. Keep talking and please stop reading the phone. I am talking, and I'm reading the phone at the same goddamn time I can do that. Anyway, I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird that, like, I think just everyone's a hypocrite. Like, my perspective on this is that no one actually really likes freedom of speech. I'm not driving, motherfuckers. God damn it, he's driving. I'm just living. Everyone has.
I'm living.
Yeah, everyone has a criticism. You always have to have some sort of stupid fucking criticism. Like, are you driving? I don't appreciate what you're doing. Like, I can be in a car. Anyway, I'm living. Yes, thank you.
I'm not driving. I'm living.
Thank you for liking my glasses.
Hell yeah. What? No compliments.
I hate freedom of speech. Says problematic public opinion girl. Boom. There you go. That's a pin. That's a pin right there. Kes Fortnite. Ne zaman girmeyeceğim Fortnite'a. Şu anda spora gidiyorum. Bunu daha önce görseydin, izlemeye başlasaydın daha erken görürdün bunu.
Whoa. I don't like that kind of speech.
Yeah. That's the kind of speech that nobody likes.
That American free speech.
Wow, there's another. Holy shit. I'm swarmed with bots right now. Very interesting. A bunch of people are like,
you're getting censored and you're getting botted out.
Yeah. İyi sporlar kardeşim. Nezo says, yo, Kyle, my cousin.
What's up, Nezo?
Alright, you look at the road, bro. You look at the road.
No, I'm taking us down.
Yeah, we're dying. If you're a Wayman, why do you have a beard?
What?
I don't understand what that question is. Are you asking if I'm a woman, but I have a beard?
You're a...
Wayman.
You have no puntachen.
I don't understand that at all. A Wayman. Anyway. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that, Facebook is censoring my video.
So
the last video that I did, the last video that I did was on Israel, and of course I voiced my criticisms of what the Israeli government's doing as far as the settlements, as far as the violent retaliation, the brutal way that they treated Palestinians by killing 50 plus Palestinians who were rushing the border fence that they created in southern Israel. And that video immediately got censored, like very quickly. I think it was like 2 hours. It was up for like 2 hours, and it immediately got censored. And it's because, you know, there's plenty of news stories about this already, but Facebook works with the Israeli government on censoring specific accounts. Like they're and I'll pin it. I mean, it's on my I'll pin the article from The Intercept, but you know, that's a fact. It's not exactly like a lesser known thing. They do that. A lot of governments do that. And Facebook takes advantage of international law every now and then when it comes to certain things like that. But unfortunately, that's where my content lives. So
this is America.
And this is America. I did put it on YouTube as well. You can watch it on YouTube as well.
Do you put all your videos on YouTube?
I don't put all my videos on YouTube, Kyle. No, that's a good question though. Thank you.
I wasn't like trying to spur. I actually was. I don't know if you did or not.
No, I'm gonna put all of them on YouTube. The other problem with my YouTube is that it is infested. Like, it is infested with alt-right people, unfortunately. So, it's just like, it really discourages me from uploading content on there. And a lot of you don't even follow my, subscribe to my YouTube page. So it makes me feel like...
When you wake up, do you make your bed in the morning?
What?
Do you make your bed in the morning when you wake up, dude?
No, why?
Isn't that like a Jordan Peterson thing?
No, clean your room.
Oh, do you clean your room, little boy?
I do. I do clean my room. But yeah, are you afraid of us? Are you afraid for U.S. youth being brought into this stuff? What do you mean? I should do a tour. I'm working on that. That's another thing. I hate freedom of speech. I mean, I like being oppressed and manipulated by the government. Yeah. No, I don't plan on going to Turkey anytime soon. Muazzam aksan, hadi bir de Türkçe konuş.
Whoa.
Evet, Türkçe de konuşabiliyorum. Aksanım yok Türkçe konuşurken de. I don't know. Is he your boyfriend or maid? Kyle?
Oh my god.
Kyle is my boyfriend and maid.
I'm his handmaid.
Yeah. Kyle is my handmaiden. His tail. Yeah. You're not American at all. You're probably German and Austrian, but not American. No, I'm Turkish. Like,
you're certainly not American either.
Türkiye'ye gelme tamam. Gelmiyorum Ezgi. How many languages do you speak? I only speak 2 languages.
You simple bitch.
Kyle is beef boy. Someone says he is beef boy. You are a beef boy.
I am the beef.
Yo, honestly, it's very entertaining. But I mean, Kyle is such a beefy boy that he literally flexed really hard one time, and his sleeves fell off.
Shit. Till the sleeves fall off.
Yeah, till the sleeves fall off. You're my hero, and I looked up to you. Can I get a shout out? You can,
You're welcome,
Vincent Montenga.
You're welcome.
Teach me Turkish, Daddy.
It's very nice of you to say that, having only been on this live.
I am a young Turk. I am Muslim, yes. Not practicing Muslim, but culturally I am Muslim.
He's a fake ass.
You're a beefy boy too. Oh, thank you. I am a bit of a beefy boy. I mean, it's not, you know, I got good muscular definition. Not really. I'm thick. I'm a thick boy. Where's Kyle from? Kyle's from New Jersey.
You're ripped and shredded.
You don't have to lie to them, dude. When you lie like this, our freedom of speech gets canceled. You know that, right?
Man, I get it,
fuck.
dude.
I should have put this on here.
Why aren't you charging?
It's just like weird. A lot of people just literally don't understand what freedom of speech is. That's the biggest issue. Is like Facebook has every right to censor my videos. Like they do. It's a private platform. It's not public. It's not nationalized. Like they have every right to censor my videos. It sucks, but that's the fucking reality of it. Okay?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I half the time I ironically will say stuff like, or sarcastically say stuff like, oh yeah, you don't appreciate my freedom of speech because you blocked me, but like that's a joke. Like that has nothing to do with freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is the protection that you get from the government for being like that. You don't have the government can't prosecute you for saying certain things. You can be prosecuted or deplatformed or censored for inciting hatred or inciting violence but hate speech even is protected under freedom of speech. Yeah, I'll make my own platform, Hassan Book. You guys know how long, how difficult that is? I like how we get oppressed. Freedom of speech is overrated. Censorship is the way to go. Fuck freedom. Yeah, okay, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. I do get despised. I get despised all the time. I just did a survey on Facebook about this. Oh, that's the other thing. Facebook is literally after pressure from conservatives, because they said that they were being silenced on Facebook for so long. After all that pressure, after Diamond and Silk lied to Congress in a congressional hearing about never being paid by anyone, even though they were clearly paid by PACs that were in support of Donald Trump and also by Paul Nehlen, the neo-Nazi. Facebook was like, all right, you guys are right. We're buckling down, and we're gonna hire the fucking, I think it was like the Heritage Foundation. It's a right-leaning conservative think tank that they're working with to figure out what channels should be platformed and what channels should get better priority on the algorithm. So yeah, these guys are fucking absolute idiots. I mean, a lot of them are nerdy liberals, like socially progressive for the most part. They're not fiscally progressive. I feel like there are very few people who are legitimately fiscally progressive in this country that are pro-unions, pro-socialized medicine, pro-fucking free public education. Like, that was a big point of contention even between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, which is insane to me. Like, what does the Democratic Party stand for if they can't stand for these sort of things that help the middle class? Like, we don't stand for shit. It's all identity politics for the most part. So, in a weird way, conservatives aren't completely wrong when they criticize Democrats or when they criticize liberals and say, you guys don't do shit, all you care about is virtue signaling and social justice warrior stuff. And some people do legitimately care about that. I care about that. Obviously, you guys know that. There are plenty of people that are genuinely impacted by certain decisions or certain systemic inequalities. And we talk about that a lot. Some of which gets censored by Facebook. For example, almost all of my viral Black Lives Matter videos have been censored by Facebook. But by and large, the Democratic Party doesn't do a really good job of representing the people. They just do a little bit marginally better of a job representing the people, performatively at least, than the Republican Party does. Anyway, Bernie's half rotten, Hillary's Trump. Interesting. Anyway. All right. Well, that's all I got for now. It's we've been talking for a very long time at this point. I just wanted to leave you all with the real people who are being silenced are the people that you don't see on television, despite having massive followings, like my fucking self. Have you ever thought about that for a second? I have millions of people watch my videos on the internet. I have hundreds of thousands of fans, way more than most fucking people, most liberal pundits that you see. Have you ever wondered why I'm never on any of these television channels? Do you ever think about that? It's not a fucking accident. It's because I say a lot of the things that they disagree with. And I'm referring to MSNBC. I'm referring to CNN. Like,
I know why.
Yeah.
It's because you said that you went on TV and you talked bad about Snapchat and they'll never forgive you for that.
Oh my god, I did do that. I did go on CNBC one time. Because shouts out to the fan who was a producer. I hope you never got fired after that. But yeah, they made the mistake of putting me on Squawk on the Street one time, and I was like, no one watches TV anymore. Also, Snapchat's value is incredibly inflated, and I was fucking right. Anyway, I was right on both counts.
Can't have you speaking these truths.
Anyway, but that's like. Yeah, thank you for saying I'm pretty enough to be on TV. It's just, it doesn't matter.
That wasn't the question. We all know that.
Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, the point I'm making is the real people that are suppressed on all of these platforms are the ones that don't really get op-eds on the fucking New York Times. Like, could you imagine the New York Times doing a puff piece on me? Like, the New York Times has written about Ben Shapiro extensively, about how people silence him, about how people fear his speech extensively. What a weird and twisted world that we live in, where the people who consistently talk about how they're being silenced get the most fucking coverage. Weird how that works.
Dude, I fear
very weird.
I fear him.
Anyway, I love you all. Yes, I am cocky. And if you support free speech, then, continue to follow me on all the platforms, like Twitch. Go to my Twitch, twitch.tv/HassanPiker. Go to my YouTube, youtube.com/HassanPiker. Subscribe on all fronts. Give me money so I can keep making this stuff. I'm eventually going to start a Patreon too, so that I can create more content for you guys, because no one can fucking stop us, okay? There's a very real constituency in this country that cares about progressive values, whether it's fiscal policy or whether it's social justice, and eventually we will shove that message down the Democratic Party's throat. All right, I love you all. Peace.